Well, we gotta find this boy.
He's second or third grade. That boy cannot kill that buff man. It's exactly the logic the fucking police are using right now.
I mean, it's not an unrealistic assumption to make.
If he had a fucking spear though, that caused bloodless wounds.
Yeah, but like second or third grade, that means he's like what, no older
Mr.
than 8?
Powers.
You know?
How old is 10 in Persona 3?
Well, yeah.
Yes? Oh, sorry. Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio?
I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest. Oh. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know?
Was it kids dragging their legs because the costume didn't fit?
The Steel Samurai costume was in the corner of the dressing room. Well, like 2 kids stacked on top of each other like it's BoJack.
Yeah. Because the legs
like
are far too long in the photo. Like the trouser legs are so long in the photo. You don't notice. Look at the court record. Look at it right now. Look at this fucking photo. It looks like a kid in the trousers. Look at that. The top half doesn't look like a kid. But look how long the trousers are.
Maybe that's just how they are, though.
Mate, I've seen some samurai shit, and they never just have half the trouser leg longer than the fucking where his feet are. The top half is a buff dude though. That's weird. I don't know what the top half's doing. But then they're tied. He's like they're tied in. Is that what the ties are about? Because remember when it did like the still shot of the Steel Samurai screen? It wasn't like ropes about.
Well, anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What?
You still cannot kill a buff.
You should take care better of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone wanting to steal a steel would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. That's too much stealing. So where does that leave me?
Doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
What are we gonna do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could have conceivably have done this.
Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot down us that we can get another day.
Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot.
Huh. You don't sound very optimistic.
I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go. Ugh. Wake up! A man's life is on the line here, Andrew.
Oh. What does that mean? Please don't sound like that.
Yeah, well, that could just be lying about being a kid. We don't have any evidence to call her a liar with. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on the matter?
The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to studios was a boy, roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Hold up. Interesting. Let us hear you have in mind, however. Be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who's obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Can we save? Right, great, as if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers who could have committed the murder?
The Penny?
Was she there the whole time? Did she?
Penny, Penny doesn't have an alibi, and she could have been in Studio 1. She has access to Studio 1.
Would there be a photo though? She could have got there before 1, right?
Yeah, she could have got there before 1.
Could it be the security lady? Is that too obvious? I'm thinking the security
I don't think
lady
it's the
is too
security
obvious.
lady.
That does seem too obvious, but I don't know what the hard evidence is that would say she wasn't there. I think you can get away with it.
Let's go with the assistant.
Oh, okay. It was the assistant. The steel samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so, she became the steel samurai.
And she has shorter legs.
Oh, I don't know. I thought she was already in there.
Who knows?
So you're saying the steel samurai in the picture is really the assistant? I suppose we're just trying to buy a day, we're not actually saying it was her.
Yeah.
That's correct, Your Honor. Although we are saying it's her. It's kind of weird.
But, well,
Logically.
we're literally just saying it's not our guy. That's... It doesn't matter who
Our
else
job
is...
is...
Our job
yeah, it
isn't
doesn't
to
matter.
be like, this is who did it. Our job is just to be like, this... It's not our guy. And that's what we gotta focus on first.
Yeah.
If you're serious, Mr. Wright, you've got guts. Remember the
Top half's
photo?
like the buff dude.
Wasn't the steel samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot.
Oh, uh-oh, bad feeling time. Yeah, because it was too big.
Remember the testimony concerning Powers' injury?
Oh, and me.
What about the assistant? What about the assistant? What about the assistant, Martin?
What about the assistant? Oh, her, she was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. Oh, so she could have pinned it on them.
The assistant knew nothing of Mr. Powers' injury. She could look at the steel samurai. She could look the steel samurai. Look with that costume.
She could look the steel samurai look for that costume. Yeah.
But yeah, that is correct. It just is a weird sentence. But she couldn't walk the steel samurai walk. She wouldn't have limped.
She would have.
It kind of takes the legs from under her case.
She would have, because his trousers are clearly too long. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I have to penalise you as we're warned.
Oh shit.
See, it's not that. It's not. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Maybe move on, Mr. Wright. Oh, this fight isn't over yet. If you would, Your Honor, one more chance, please. Very well, go ahead. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers who could have committed this murder?
Are we saying the grade school kid?
It has to be the security lady. The grade school, they can use the same argument the grade school kid. They didn't know his ankle was hurt.
Okay, we'll try. I mean, we could just
They
lose.
could, like, that's the same thing.
Alright, yeah, security lady. Yeah, you're right, it's the only one.
It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The steel samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag.
Oh shit.
Well, what? Whippersnapper? Oda! Oda! Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the steel samurai costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the steel samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture.
Huh.
If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter?
The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something!
Give Granny a break.
Never give Granny a break. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too.
Yeah.
Indeed. That did it. Now Moonbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said. Second or third grade, was it? Well, that doesn't matter. He could be a stone cold killer. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Kids
Yikes.
these days with their video games or Grand Theft Autos. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? Oh boy, he's not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? Card key? I have proof. This is
Oh. Yeah, it's card key time.
Proof? Indeed. Then let's see the proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? Let's see, card key. Take that! Take that! The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a key card to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a key card? Card key. I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. Was that... What was her name? Miss Windy, what was her name? Something old bag, Your Honor.
Something old bag, Your Honor?
Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. The court is adjourned.
Alright. We got another day. Wait.
Well, wait a second. I'm not gonna just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me! I'm talking.
Oh. Great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk.
Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Oh, fucking hell. Not to talk about?
By whom?
Huh. Even it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. My brother. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet on something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder.
Old bag.
Do people think court's a fucking joke?
Dude, this is a fucking game?
This is a fucking game. They had nothing to do with it, see? They said they had nothing to do with it. So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, then I'm not letting them get away scot-free. They said they had nothing to do with the murder. Miss Oldbag! This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
This fucking woman.
Why is this cross-examination? Who the fuck were the people?
Who? Yeah, to be fair, this is just examination, honestly.
So who were you told not to talk? So you were told not to talk. Sorry. That's right, but the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less. We'll get them in here. That's already a
Why
crime,
didn't I hear about this?
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. Press. Who the fuck were there? What's the press?
I want names.
Who were these people? Yeah, what names? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. Fuck me. The director?
We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run through of the action without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I'm surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? Studio 2? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after all.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. So Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? You have a map.
Oh, yeah, Edgeworth is 100% on our side at this point.
Well, if you look at the guide map. Here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Yes, the camera doesn't see them. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but...
Do we need to keep going?
Was there anything left to press? Press on. Chat says
Let me
press
check
on.
the cart record. Someone could have come from Studio 2
Without a photo.
without passing the
But-
camera.
But wouldn't they have a photo on the way in?
So they had nothing to do with it, see?
Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side. What? So you got your bonus and you still talked? I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Yeah, I think take a break.
Yeah, I feel like the game's telling us that there's nothing more.
Yeah. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer, some bigwigs, were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare on a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information on these other people we have just been told of.
I understand, Your Honor.
Sends today's proceedings to the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned.